Yeah. So it's Advent, and so we're going to light our Advent candles. First, we light the candle of faith that represents faith, our ability to believe, our ability to trust. And then we light our candle of peace for today. Sometimes peace is louder than other times. That's okay. And I love this time of year because Advent is the time of preparing for a new awareness, for the birth of the Christ. Not the birth of the Christ in us because the Christ is already in us, but a birth of a new awareness of that Christ within us. As we get to know ourselves deeper, as we get to know ourselves more fully. And that's what Christmas in unity represents, that birth of a new awareness of who we are as spiritual beings. So yesterday I came across a story of a man named Harold. And Harold was having a perfectly good day until he was brushing his teeth and his mind started to wander and he started thinking about all the emails he hadn't sent yet. And he started thinking about all the errands he had to run that day. And then he started thinking of conversations he might be having with a number of different people. And that hyper squirrel who's had too much caffeine in his mind just kept going on and on and on, and he didn't like it. He thought, this has got to stop. So he took himself to an everything store. And this everything store sold candles and cards and books and clothes and minds and inner peace. And he said to the clerk, very nice young woman named Jade, he said, "I'd like to return my mind, please. It won't stop talking." And she said, "I'm sorry, we don't take minds back. We've learned that it's too much liability, but we can troubleshoot with you." And she hands him a card, and she said, this is what you need to do. It said, turn off, turn on. In other words, breathe. Turn off, turn on. We often need to do that with our devices, right? Just turn it off and let it reset. And he said, really? It's that simple? Is this all I have to do? Turn it off, turn it on? And she says, yes, but if you get to the 10th time, it might need chocolate. So he bought some chocolate and went home and tried it. He started breathing, and he took a deep breath in, count of 4, deep breath out. And after he did it a few times, he's like, wow, he started feeling more calm. He started feeling like he was having a warm cup of tea. And that hyper squirrel was calming down. And he said, wow, this inner peace? And his mind said, oh no, you got it wrong. Don't start thinking you got inner peace. And he goes, oh, there you are. But he said, I'm going to keep doing it. And so he kept breathing in and out. And he noticed that the squirrel actually went to sleep. And so he marched himself back to the store, and she said, you going to try for another refund? He said, no, I'm going to buy some more chocolate. So often, that's what we need to do. Turn off, turn on. Turn off the monkey mind. Turn off the chatter. Turn off all the things that we think we have to do to be worthy of this life or worthy of love or worthy of whatever. We already are. We already are. We just need to soften our hearts, allow ourselves some space, and be present. Be present. Yesterday, Kevin and I drove down to Highlands Ranch to a high school down there. Took us 45 minutes. We got in a bus that drove us to a mansion where our 9-year-old granddaughter, Harper, sang with her school choir, 4 or 5 songs. It took 10 minutes. Then we got back on the bus, back to the high school, back to our car, and drove 45 minutes home. And it can, I'm so glad we did. I'm so glad we went, because we were present for our granddaughter. We were present. Even though she was crabby, they didn't want to go to lunch with us, it's okay. Because we were present for her. And believe me, on a Saturday, before I'm going to talk, I can make up lots of reasons why I can't do something like that. But part of my intentions these last few months has to be more balanced. And doing that was balancing my life. The talk will come, it'll be okay. Being present for our granddaughter is more important than anything else. Being present for people is more important than anything else. So often we think it's not enough, but it's really enough. It's really the best gift we can give anyone. And when we do that, it softens our hearts. It helps us see what's important. It helps us see that we matter, that people matter in our lives. When we give ourselves that gift too, being present for ourselves. Pema Chodron says this: if we want there to be peace in the world, we have to be brave enough to soften what is rigid in our hearts, to find the soft spot and stay with it. We have to have that kind of courage and take that kind of responsibility. That's the true practice of peace. Are you practicing peace in your lives? It can be so easy to look at the world and just be, saddened and brokenhearted. Look at the conflicts, the wars that are going on. Look at the Ukraine and Russia going into the 4th year. Look at Palestine and Israel and the Sudan and Syria and over land or over religion. And I know it's more complicated than that, but it all seems so pointless to me so often. Why? Why? And then I need to look at myself and what is pointless in my mind? What thoughts am I holding that are pointless, that aren't serving me? Where am I feeling conflict? I'm seeing conflict out in the world, so there must be conflict in me, in my consciousness. It's a great opportunity for all of us to look at whatever conflict we're feeling inside our own heads and clear it up. Clear it up. We go to great lengths to do a lot, to do this, do that, and I'm not saying don't live your goals, but we go to so much trouble of all the doing and all the things that we feel like we have to get done. And one of the most important things I think we have to do is be present. Be present for ourselves, be present for those important to us. So if you've been around here a few years, you know that I really love Christmas commercials. And I can spend way too much squirrel time looking at many too many Christmas commercials. And I love to share one when I find one that I think is really heartwarming. And so check this one out. Yeah, so this give something only you can give, right? A Coke, Coca-Cola commercial. But your presence, all the things that he did to try to get that letter, if he just would have looked inside, if we would just look inside, we find the best gift ever. We find our own divine essence. We find what we are searching for out there in the world, and it's all right here. It's all right within us. That's where the true peace comes, when we know that, when we remember that, when we allow ourselves to embrace that part of us. There's always this calm presence within us we have available. So turn off, turn on. Turn off, turn on. So I want to invite us to just, for a moment, let's just all take a breath. Collectively, in and out. Turn off the mind chatter. Turn on the love. Turn on the presence. Turn on the peace that is available to each of us. We can all do that. Get rid of the conflicts in our own minds. I love this scripture from the Gospel according to Matthew. So when you are offering your gift at the altar, if you remember that your brother or sister has something against you, leave your gift there before the altar and go. First be reconciled to your brother or sister, and then come and offer your gift. Come to terms quickly with your accuser while you are on the way to court with him. Or your accuser may hand you over to the judge, and the judge to the guard, and you will be thrown into prison. Now you're like, what? Right? What is that? Let's leave that up for a minute. So when you're coming to offer your gift at the altar, when you're coming to pray, to meditate, our gifts, our thoughts, our thought process to the altar where we our divine selves. So when we are coming to pray, and in unity we say it's consciously aligning with that part of ourselves, that divine essence within. When we're coming to do that and we realize that we have a conflict, it says with your brother or sister, in unity we say that people represent our thoughts. So we have some other thoughts that we're holding on to. We're coming to pray, but we're realizing we've got some other things going on in our minds. Reconcile those first. Find peace for those thoughts. Find a place for them. Give them space. Heal those thoughts. Then spend time in meditation. Then spend time in prayer. Because if you don't, what happens is if you don't come to terms quickly with your accuser, you're going to hand him over to the judge, your own inner judge, your inner critic. Those thoughts become, and we start judging ourselves, and we start seeing ourselves differently. And then we hand it over to the guard, and then we put up walls. And then what do? We're in a prison of our own making, with thoughts that we hold that are not serving us, with thoughts that are not peaceful, with thoughts that are not loving or joyful. And we all do this from time to time, right? We all find ourselves trapped, not free, when all along, all we have to do is turn within. Turn within. Turn off. Turn on. This happened to me, as it does when I'm preparing a talk. It's happened to me this past week. My class Wednesday night, I just knew my teacher was going to ask me to do the opening prayer. I just knew it. And I'm looking at him on the screen, because it's a virtual class, and I'm looking at him going, no, 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 no. Do not call on me. See, my class is made up of mostly Science of Mind ministers, and they have a very specific way they pray. It's called spiritual mind treatment, and I don't pray that way. I don't know how to pray that way. I've never been taught how to pray that way. And so I did not want to pray to a bunch of 20, CSL ministers. And as I'm broadcasting so loudly, no, 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 what did he do? Sue, will you open us up in prayer? Yeah. So I prayed, and I don't remember what I said. And because when you're in that heart space, you don't remember what your prayers are because they're coming from another place. And immediately after, the accuser, the judge, the guard, and the prison all happened to me. I was judging myself, feeling it wasn't good enough. It wasn't CSL. Of course not. I'm not a CSL minister. I'm a unity minister. But I put myself in this prison and this inner critic that's loud and mean, and you didn't do it right. And I realized I have some kind of core belief that I need to heal and replace with something that helps, that serves me, of needing to do it right. Needing to do it right so people will like me, so people will accept me, so I will be worthy or deserving of their regard. We all have core beliefs that don't serve us, and we can replace those. Interestingly, this week in my other Monday, Friday class, we were talking about communication. And the question that Dr. James put to the class was, how are you communicating to yourself? To think about it all week. How are you and I knew how I was communicating to myself after this prayer. And it wasn't kind. It wasn't loving. It wasn't the way I would communicate to any of you, or any friend, or any family member, or even anyone I don't like. I would just be quiet. So I blogged about it, because that's what we do in that class. We blog about where are we at, what feelings are showing up, and answer the question. So I blogged and said, my inner critic came up. I wasn't very kind to myself after saying this prayer. And so on Friday, when class came up, Friday morning, first thing my teacher said was, Sue, I loved your prayer. Your prayer was very heart-centered. And validation, great. I wasn't looking for validation, but it always feels good to get validated. And it was a good reminder that we critique ourselves so much harder than we do maybe you do this, that other people. We're so hard on ourselves. And that does not bring peace. It does not bring peace. We need to be loving to ourselves. Allow ourselves space to be who we came here to be. Check that connection that you have with your own source within. Are you paying attention to it? This week, Cloudflare went down for a half hour. Maybe it affected you. I think it affected Zoom and LinkedIn. I don't know who else. In November, there was one that affected more. So I know I was affected by that one. But Cloudflare. So Spiritual Passages, which is one of the resources I use, Scott Aubrey, the minister that runs that, sent an email out either yesterday or Friday and talked about it. Like, where are we're putting so much emphasis on these outer sources of power when we can look within. Like, maybe it's time to turn off, have some downtime, turn on. Check your connection. Your connection, we all have a connection, but are you paying attention to it? To that connection to your own inner knowing, your own inner center, divine essence. That we think we have to do all this stuff. And really, we need more space, more down, to be at peace. This morning, my watch, which is dead now, during our prayer this morning, I got a notice that said, you have only 10% battery left. I'm like, what's my initial reaction? Oh no, I'm not gonna have my watch today. It's not gonna be working. And turn off, turn on. Do I really need to know what temperature it is outside at every moment of glancing at it? Do I really need to know what's next on my calendar? I wasn't connected to the source. But I'm connected to this source. This source. There's another quote that I love from the Bhagavad Gita. I always have trouble saying that. The man of unstable mind has no knowledge of self, nor has he the insight of meditation. To him who has no inner vision, there is no peace. And without peace, whence comes joy? I love that you were singing about joy this morning. Without peace, where's the joy? There can't be joy unless we have a state of inner calm, something. But we don't take that downtime to find it, to reconnect with it, to align with it. There's an article going around Facebook that I saw yesterday about how these big redwood trees were given a shot of adrenaline to see what would happen if they didn't winterize. Now, I did some search. There's no such, that never happened. It never happened. But it's really good. There is plenty in nature that does need downtime. There's plenty in nature that needs to go into dormancy, that needs to hibernate, that needs to have downtime, including us humans. And the article said, why do we feel like we need to be in perpetual spring and perpetually producing and doing? That we need some downtime. We need time to spend with loved ones without an agenda. We need time to spend in nature and awe and to come to that place of peace, that place of knowing who we are, remembering who we are. Can be hard in our do world, right? But we all have this ability within us. During this busy holiday season, I hope you will take some downtime for yourself. Turn off, reset, turn on. And then you can be fully present. I watched a documentary or a short video of Eckhart Tolle talking about how to find inner peace. Practice being present. Practice being present no matter what is showing up for you. It's like, forget about what happened yesterday. Forget about what's happening tomorrow. Be present in now, in the now. And then accept whatever is going on. You may not like it, but you accept it. Who are you with? What are you doing? What is your job? Accept it as it is. Not to say that that's for life, it's for right now, for this moment. So practice the present, accept what is, and allow yourself to be calm. Be that inner peace. Be the peace you want to see in the world. Because that is our responsibility, I think, to the world. The more we do it in our own consciousness, the more we contribute to the race consciousness of the world. So it starts here and here. And you can all do that. So today I invite you to try it. Be fully present, no matter what. Fully present, and find that inner peace. You turn off, reset, turn on. Okay, namaste, peace with you.